Hello, true believers. Time for another vlog, and this time I wanted to talk about the reason why I haven't updated or uploaded anything in the last couple of days here is because of this. This is Hero's current grades for the school year 2022 to 2023. So here, let me show you the results. And here's, look at over here, he's got term 1 and here's term 2. So in Filipino, he got an improvement of B to B plus. English, he went B to B, which is kind of the same. English is not difficult speaking wise, but the grammar and all the technicals will get complicated. If you ever took English class in high school, they have a lot of rules that are inconsistent, so that's what they got to do. And math, he downgraded from an A to a B plus. But in science, he went from B plus to an A, so that kind of balanced each other. The math and science, they kind of switched positions there. And Araling Panlipunan, he upgraded from A minus to an A. Christian living values went from A to A plus. Technology and livelihood education stayed the same, A plus. Computer, he went from A to A minus. So it's still good. And MAPE, music, arts, physical education, got A plus, A plus. So it hasn't changed, A plus. And stream, this is elective, got A plus. Robotics, got an A. Deportment, I forgot what this was. Well, anyway, he went from A minus to A plus. So I think it's a slight improvement. So he got an average of an A minus, like last time. And what do we got over here? So last term, he didn't have any days absent. This time he had 1 absent. And that's because he had a surgery. Remember, he was off for 2 weeks. So they just said that like, he's only gonna be absent for 1 day, even though he was absent for 2 weeks. So they just kind of lumped it all into 1 day of excused absence. So instead of having a perfect attendance, he got 1 day off because of his surgery. 1 day absent. He's no tardiness. And so we were pleasantly surprised. Oops, sorry about that. So we were pleasantly surprised that he got about the same grades, still an A minus. And I thought he was gonna suffer because of his surgery, and we were gone for 2 weeks out of school. And then not just the being out of school for 2 weeks, but also his state of mind after surgery. He was in a lot of pain. School wasn't really much of a priority. Recovering, getting healthy, going to the bathroom, taking a shower, going down the stairs, walking was it was a lot of distractions. And the good news is that he was able to pull through. And that's because of a lot of support from me and his mom. And that's probably the reason why in the last 2 days I haven't done much uploading, is because it's his last 2 months of school. And as you can see, we're busy with his rehab, with his knee, with his continuing. And the reason why we do a lot of training is because it keeps his mind occupied. It keeps his mind towards like progressing something. Yes, his lower body, his knee, his left knee especially, is recovering, and it's not in it's slowly getting in its best shape, but the rest of his body is still nothing wrong with it, especially his upper body. So we're focusing on that, so to keep him, because he has a lot of emotional issues, and I wanted to keep him busy with training his other parts of his body so he feels like he's doing something constructive. And then on top of that, we have to stay on top of his school. And this is his last term, and what the teachers are doing are they're cramming everything in the last 2 months to finish off his junior high school year, his junior high school career. So it's a lot of projects, a lot of homework, a lot of quizzes, a lot of school related things on top of the rehab that we're doing. So there's times where like, oh, I'm so tired. Last thing I can do is put up a vlog or something like that. I mean, there's still stuff going on. I mean, there's so many things to comment on about current events, things on the news, but I'm not really focused on that right now. Right now, Hero is my focus. He's at a critical stage in his life where he wants to get back into sports. He wants to do well in school, and it's a full-time job. I mean, a man might work from dusk till dawn, but Beva's only job is never done. So that's what I'm up to, and at least you could see the results is in the first two terms that he's an achiever. So he might get a award. I think he just needs to get 2 out of the 3 terms, but we want to get the hat trick and him get him his achiever award all 3 terms like he's been doing since I've gotten out for the last 3 years. Okay, so that's the update. So, and also probably another thing why sometimes why I vlog is it's for myself. It's for, what's the word I'm looking for? It's providence. It's for me. It's for my. It's like keeping a journal. Because what defines you, what makes is your experiences, and I like to vlog what my experiences are and share it with people because they're my experiences. So it's for me, and if they're interesting enough for like a dozen people to look at to watch them, then it's worth doing. But it's not something that if there's other priorities, then of course I have to prioritize them because vlogging, it's a lot of people don't do it because there's so many reasons not to do it. Because if you put up anything, people are gonna hate it, people are gonna make their stupid comments, and if you're not in the right frame of mind, it can affect you. It can like, why do I bother doing it, since it's like, and then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Obviously there's no money in it, and you're just gonna, anything you put up, somebody is gonna say something. There's nothing but haters out there. Those are usually the loudest ones, and of course they don't bother me, but I can understand why some people it'll affect them. I've been through too much and have gone through much for those kind of things to bother me. But right now, if I don't vlog that much, and that's because of the reason is because that Hero is so important to me. Everybody knows ever since he was such a little baby that he's like the center of my universe. So everything that he needs for his school, for his football, it's number one priority to me. And that's what happens when you become a parent. That's the only thing important to you, is like you give up everything. You know, I gave up my career once I became a parent. I'm not a professional anymore. I'm number one a parent. I mean, you can't be both a professional and a good parent at the same time. There's a funny, not a funny sorry, I'm sorry, a tragic story. I always said to like, for example, I'll give you an example. The surgeon that performed Hero's knee surgery, I'm not gonna say his name, but if you know anything about the community in the Philippines, the sports medicine community, he's basically the father of sports medicine here in the Philippines. He's so successful. I mean, he did, out of 100 knee surgeries he's done, ACL surgeries, or he probably did 110 of them. And you could tell he was an artist. He's done so much of these. He did Hero's knee surgery in probably less than 20 minutes. Tragically, his only son, while he was 17, 18, right, graduating from from high school going into college, committed suicide with gunshot wound to the head. And I've always said that you can't be a good doctor and be a good businessman at the same time, or you can't be a good doctor and be a good father at the same time. I'm sure he was a great father, but there was something missing. And it's hard because when you're like the only one that can do something in the whole country, of course you have no choice but to spend your time with it. But I've also said, to counter that argument, that when you do have time, I remember when my graduation speech, that yes, we all have bills to pay, promises to keep, but when you do have that one time, and the kids can understand that, they know that you're busy. But when you have that very little precious time to spend with your kids, then you do that, and you do it with so much high quality that it makes up for the lack of quantity. Now, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I can give you examples like we have another friend whose son died, and the father was a seaman, and he was always on the boat. But the problem was, when he was not on the boat, instead of coming home and spending time with his family, and instead of spending time with his son, he'll go out and do something else. Extracurricular activities, including game chickens, gambling, being out, instead of spending, especially when they're at that critical time age where you need, especially with girls not so much, but with boys definitely, you need to spend quality time with them when you do have them. And when you don't, then that's when it affects them negatively, psychologically. So that's another story. So I'm just saying, when you become a parent, your priority changes. And especially with my background, I didn't have any parents, so I wanted to make sure that when I do become a parent, that I want to give them everything that I never had. And here are the results, is what I'm saying. So if you are a parent, or if you're planning on becoming a parent, make sure that you spend the quality time that they deserve, because when you become a parent, there's nothing more important than you raising that child and making sure that that child is happy and gets all the emotional nourishment and affection that they get, especially for boys, from their fathers. And I know there's probably generations, I know, where latchkey kids, there's double working parents now. So it's difficult. We might have a generation of boys growing up without fathers, but I can't do anything about that. I can only work on my own, is basically what I'm saying. I mean, that's how Bevels only started. We're not trying to change the world, but we are here to make a difference with the people around us, especially with our family and our friends. Anyway, that's the update. I will do my best to update people, but if I don't, just relax. I'll get to it when I get to it. Anyway, that's the update. This is Bevels Only. Thanks for watching.